In this lesson, we'll be covering the topic of whether or not you should medicate your child to help with behavior modification due to their symptoms of autism. Now, let me state right off that I am not for or against medication. I'm not for or against it. I think every situation is different, and each person and family need to make their own choice about this. I actually know more about this than I should, but it's not due to our oldest son with autism. We have 3 children, all boys, and our son with autism is our oldest. Our middle son started getting diagnosed with autoimmune diseases when he was 12 years old, and our youngest son has experiences of clinical anxiety. So I know a bit about medication. First off, I would say that mood and behavior altering medication can have a lot of side effects to a person's chemical processing in the brain and to their body as a whole. So if handling the behavior of what is going on is possible without medication, that is the route you should take. Our son with autism has never been on medication. It is a myth that everyone that has autism needs to be on medication. That is simply not true. A lot of patience, help, therapy, and of course love can go a long way to help improve behaviors. You should choose that prescription, patience, help, therapy, and love, over some pills every day of the week. So if your child does not need medication, don't put them on it. The side effects of the drug can be avoided and should be avoided. Now, although our child with autism has never been on medication, our other 2 sons have been on medication. When our middle son got diagnosed with his first autoimmune disease at the age of 12, he was placed on prescription medication to help alleviate the symptoms of the disease. The medication he was on was necessary at that time to help him with the disease. These were some pretty hefty medications that he was on. Although these medications helped his disease, the side effects were pretty rough. He was always nauseous, which was a side effect of the medicine. He lost a lot of his hair and was very melancholy all of the time. Our fun-loving and active 12-year-old turned into a very quiet, reserved, and non-active boy. For a while, these medicines were worth the side effects that came along with them because they were healing the inside of his body from the disease. Things were getting better for his overall body health. But after many months, the side effects were trumping the effectiveness of the medicine. The medicine was no longer doing its job, and the side effects from the medicine were getting worse and worse. At this time, our son's specialist at the Children's Hospital wanted to move to the next step of medicine and start giving a different kind of medicine through infusions. The infusions were an even more powerful drug that would change the chemical makeup of the inside of his entire body. Now, we wanted to make sure that we would give our son the infusions only if it were the only option that would work for him. So at this time, we expanded his team of doctors. In addition to his regular local pediatrician and his specialists at the Children's Hospital, we also contacted a naturopathic doctor. These are also called natural doctors because they do not use regular prescription medications to treat their patients. We told our son's specialist at the Children's Hospital that we wanted to pursue another course of treatment for 1 to 3 months. We wanted to see if something else would work before we started to give our son the infusions. Our son's doctor hesitantly agreed with us and gave us the go-ahead. However, we still had to follow up with him in a couple of months so he could assess our son. And the specialist said, if he sees our son going downhill, then we'll be starting the infusions, and we agreed to this plan. So we started to see the naturopathic doctor. She met with us and listened as we talked to her about our son's autoimmune diseases and what treatment we had been doing so far. We told her that our goal was to take him off of the prescription medication he had been on that was causing so many side effects. We also told her that we wanted to avoid the infusions if at all possible. She did a few tests on our son to see if he was deficient in any minerals or vitamins to see if this could be a cause of the illness. She also did an extensive food study on him to see what foods may cause inflammation or irritation to his body. In addition, she did a few other non-invasive tests. We got these results back and ended up putting our son on some natural, not medicine, supplements. We also put him on a strict diet for several months that he ate only lean meats, fruits, and vegetables. It was hard, but he did it. We decided to take him off of all medications during this time to see what would happen. We knew that if our plan wasn't working, that we'd be putting him on infusions soon anyways, and his doctor at the Children's Hospital would intervene and that he would help us. However, the infusions and help from a specialist was not needed. The plan we put our son on with a strict diet and the natural supplements ended up being the cure that we were praying for. In fact, when we did go to the appointment to see his specialist at the Children's Hospital, he was shocked at how good our son's health was, and he celebrated with us. Now, our middle son still has type 1 diabetes, so he still has to give himself insulin shots every day and keep a very close eye on his blood sugar levels. Other than the diabetes, he's in excellent health, being on no medicine other than his insulin. The other disease he had is 100% gone, which his specialist could not explain. Now, the story with our youngest son is that he started having clinical anxiety during the end of his 5th grade year. His anxiety was so bad that he stopped eating, was not sleeping, and could not leave the house without a panic attack. We again met with our pediatrician about our son's anxiety, and she put him on a low dose of anti-anxiety medication for a few months. This medicine helped to calm things down a little bit, as we were also taking our son to weekly counseling sessions and making accommodations for him at home and at his school. Eventually, we were able to take our son off of his anti-anxiety meds, and he is able to handle his anxiety and random panic attacks in a much calmer way now. However, for a time, the medication was what was needed. So with all of this being said, there are a lot of options available for your child. Before you put your child on medication, I would ask the following questions. Number 1, what is the goal for your child? Number 2, would putting your child on medication help you to reach that goal? And number 3, what are other things you could do to help your child without putting them on medication? If the answer to these questions is yes, medication would help my child to reach our goal, then by all means put them on medication and don't feel guilty and don't feel shame about it. Sometimes medication is necessary and helpful, and you take it and you move on knowing it is what is best for now. I have no problem with adults or children being on medication when it is necessary. When I was a school teacher, I had a few students in my classes over the years that needed to be on behavior modification medication. It was what was best for them, and I, as their teacher, saw the benefits that they received from their medication. If it's necessary, have them take the medicine. If it's not necessary, like for our oldest son with autism, or if there are other alternatives to medicine, like for our middle son with the autoimmune diseases, or if it's necessary only for a while, like our youngest son with anxiety, then I would pursue those options first. There are so many options for us today. To medicate or not is your choice. Make the best choice that you can and go with it. And just remember that you are never stuck and that there are always options. And don't worry about the stigma that others may give you if you decide to medicate or not to medicate. Make the best choice you can and go with it. And I support you 100%.